Recording. It is February the 20th. It is at 3:15 p.m. Co-workman, what are you doing? Well, hello there. This is Shane from Shane's Reviews, and I hope that you are having a great day. What will we be talking about? Marko Kloos. He came out with another book in the series that has to do with the Lankies. The name of it is Orders of Battle, which was narrated by Eric G. Dove. It's kind of new, I think, but let's get on with it. So, where do I even begin? It spans across a lot of books, and I have really enjoyed it. So, just to get you caught up a little bit, in case you don't know who Marko Kloos is or what the series I'm talking about is. It starts out with this gentleman by the name of Andrew Grayson. Andrew Grayson is a teenage punk kid that lives in a public housing situation, and really the only way for anybody to improve their situation in his universe is for them to get out of said PRCs by joining the military. Now, when they join the military, they are instantly able to have better food, etc. Well, Andrew ends up meeting up with Haley, I think is her name. Haley ends up becoming his girl, and it's a long-lasting relationship. So, unlike a friend of ours, James McGill, that can't seem to do anything except for keep his pants off, Andrew Grayson, on the other hand, is a respectable gentleman and is very much in love with the person of which he spends his life with when he's not engaged in military-type actions. Now, as far as the tech goes, this is more of your standard types of sci-fi for space. What do I mean by average typical sci-fi in this story? Well, it's simple. Nobody cares, Reddit. But instead of it having these leaps and bounds of technological things that are completely dependent upon other species, etc., to a degree, because we did reverse engineer some stuff in this story over the course of time, it's basically our stuff that we've come up with. So we started colonizing other planets and other places, and they do, of course, have faster than light travel or close to it. And it's an interesting story because what happens is the first few books, we're having to look at humanity. We're having to look at what the consequences of our actions as humans against humans really can be. And it's more of a statement on let's get our crap together and work as one, which would do the world such good. I'm not saying unify under one government. I'm not saying get rid of your rights or what you're used to in your country. But what I am saying is if we could all just put things to the side, move on, focus on the goals that we need to focus on, it would be quite amazing. But there's a common point that's made throughout this book and throughout this series, and that is just simply that we as humans love to screw with each other, and we love to mess up life for another person as long as it benefits us in one way or the other. Horrible trademark for a species, it really is, but it's true in a way. I could take many digressions here, I'm not. So, moving along. That's kind of where the story is, but here's what happens. We end up running into these creatures that are like huge dinosaurs, but instead of them just being lumbering giants, these things are usually kind of a hive mind mentality. There's one controller, I do believe, that's been alluded to in previous books, and if by chance they happen to knock that one out, then it's easy pickings on the rest. But these things, they've been around the block. They're not stupid by any means, and they know how to take over a planet. So whenever they come in, they crash in a seed ship and boom, they're on the surface. But then they start to terraform it almost immediately, raising the temperature, raising the carbon, making it very moist and hot. Sounds like my own personal kind of hell, if I'm being honest. But these things also, they're not just above ground creatures. They also can have habitats under the ground, which is something that we see in a couple of books. There's an ambush that I'm thinking about that happened on Earth a while back in the series, and it was a rough one because the creatures had embedded themselves in ice, and then as we were going through the tunnels they had made for us, then they just busted through the walls and nom gone. It's an interesting series. That's my point. You've got a very common foe of these huge things that forced humanity to kind of focus in on what they should be doing instead of worrying about all the greediness that we usually have as a species. This country owns this country owns that, blah, 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 blah. Laying claim and causing wars and all that kind of stuff because somebody has something that you want and they won't sell it. That's not cool. Not cool at all. So, yeah, moving on along. This book is a really good tie-in to what's been going on. It's not a standalone by any means. So, yeah, there's this guy, Masad, I believe is his name. Masood or Masad. Any which way. He's somebody that's in the upper echelon and is always taking on assignments that are going to appear one way and then he does it another way. And the way he does it is sacrifice every pawn and queen and bishop that he's got in order to achieve his goal. He doesn't care who gets hurt. He doesn't care who dies. He just wants it done. But the guy's kind of like that relief hitter. I mean, whenever he goes up to bat, things are going to get screwed up, but things are also going to happen. So there's that. And he approaches Andrew in the beginning of the book and says, hey, I got something for you. I want you to go do. I want you to be the leader, blah, 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 blah. And Andrew's like, oh, God, not again. Last time we did this, I swore I was going to eat your teeth. Well, he didn't say eat us, but that's what he was getting at. And so the book starts out, he gets onto a ship after being land-based on Earth for quite some time. And, of course, they don't tell anybody what's going on. They're being very hush-hush about it. And then all of a sudden, he starts running into the people that are in command, right? And there's one individual there that just doesn't like him. And we've all experienced that. And it's so relatable because for no reason, this person absolutely hates Andrew Grayson. He's not done anything to this person. He's not said anything bad to this person. He's not gone out of his way to do something or try to, or etc. And so it really kind of kicks his teeth. He's like, wow, what did I do to you? Can you kind of chill out a little bit until I screw up on the job and then rake me over the coals? Because I've been shoveling crap ever since I got here. There's a lot of that interpersonal type stuff that's in this one. And so they go to the first stop. They end up, they're checking some things out, and it's a little vague on why. And then it happens. They end up getting stuck inside of the Alcubari. It is such an easy thing to hear. It is such an easy thing to read. But for me to pronounce this, I don't think it's possible. It's a warp bubble. That's what they're talking about. A warp bubble. Alcubari. Seriously though, the ship gets stuck in that and they end up in a place that's really far away from where they're supposed to be, and then the drama ensues. So it was an interesting read, but I really feel like this one happens to be one of those books that's a filler book. But even with it just kind of being a filler book, the last couple books we got from him were so much of that. Here it is. Here's a loose end. Here's a getting tied up. Here is this. Here is this. There's been so much action in them. I think that's the reason why I feel like that one's a little bit filler. But on the same token, I think with some of the things that are being set up, that the next book is going to be a wild ride. So I don't know if I can absolutely say that this book would be worth your time, efforts, and energies if you've been going along in that series with me as they come out. But it was certainly interesting. And if you've never heard of that, Frontlines, it's the Frontline series, and this is book 7. But yeah, if you've never heard of that series before, and you like sci-fi, you like space, you like adventuring, and you like to see the good guys make it through, not unscathed, but make it through, this might be a book for you. And no, I'm not bored. I stayed up late working on something that I'm super excited to share with all of you. It's coming. Yes, it will be here. But these are some of the most interesting comments that we found. Thank you so much for participating. It means a lot to us. And if you've made it this far, you are my hero. I love you. Thank you. Because without your wonderful faces, we wouldn't do what we do. So, with that being said, I'm not sure which one of the videos from over there that might try to crush me, so I'm going to move over and get out of the way. I'm not sure which one of those are going to be one of the ones that you pick, if you happen to pick. But if you do pick one of the ones that came over for you to pick from, I will see you in the next video.